check it out. It's early in the morning, but it ain't as early as the video might look. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do my videos and on my ride to work or ride home from work. And this is on my ride to work. So recently, we've been talking about futuristic speculation and dystopian and utopian futures, right? And we've been hearing, dystopian has been so dominant for probably as long as we can remember, in this research into sci-fi, right? Maybe in the 60s and the 70s, they may have had utopian elements, but at least within the last 30 years, Terminator and all these futures that, we see in science fiction are really tragic futures, Blade Runner, you name it, So recently, I guess because of events, well, maybe because of the whole Trump presidency in America, people have just said, all right, damn it, it is enough. We got George Floyd murders, we got a whole lot of stuff going on. And then with this incident at the Capitol, that they call an coup attempt, is just even made it even more plausible that either we may go into a dystopian future or we already are in a dystopian future. And this is my playground, right? This is a playground that I really like. Futuristic speculation. I actually think I was doing this in high school. The moment somebody said, this is what's going to happen, my Gemini mind went into debate mode and said, well, how do you know it's going to happen? What makes you think it's going to happen? You sure it's going to happen? So since probably, I'm going to say since the Trump presidency, I've been arguing back in my head and in public dystopian futuristic scenarios, because I actually believe that there isn't a futuristic scenario that is guaranteed. I actually don't even think utopianism isn't equal to dystopian. What I mean is, I think that the future is so undetermined that it is a 50-50 shot still. Whether it will be we will work things out and get stuff together, solve diseases, solve world peace, solve human crimes. So I think it's still a 50-50 shot, okay? I'll give you some examples, okay? And I like to say that I'm an optimist because of that. And I don't say that I am what optimism is. I had to explain this to one of my, I guess it's nieces. We'll say niece because she called me Uncle Jeff, right? So I'm going to call her my niece, but college student. And I had to say that, regardless of what I believe, regardless of what you believe, optimistic belief is independent of our belief, right? The optimistic future tenets are there. They're separate. Just like the dystopian revelations, what they say in the Quran, all of these tragic ending futures are also independent of us believing in them, right? So regardless of whether we believe, they should still happen because they are capable of happening. They're predicted to happen without any of our doing in the first place. So it doesn't, our belief doesn't impact those things. And then the schools of thought. The schools of thought of optimism, the schools of thought of pessimism, they exist regardless of whether we subscribe to them either. So the school of thoughts, right? Optimism, pessimism, and optimistic or utopian futures and dystopian futures, they are all independent. Now, if you want to get Dalai Lama, if you want to get power of the mind, the will of the people, now that's when science fiction writers come in to play. If there is an element of futuristic direction that is impacted by the will of the people, meaning the thoughts of the people, meaning if we think certain thing is going to happen, we can make it happen. The same way that motivational speakers tell us we could do with our lives and our goal setting. You know, you believe it, you can achieve it. Well, the same thing can happen to us on a global level in some regards. If the people believe it's going to be a dystopian future, well, daggone it, it may be a dystopian future. You know what I'm saying? Or it's more likely. That's a factor. Now, we don't know all the other factors, but that's a factor. So what I like to say is, well, if that's a bad thing, right, then writing about a utopian future and exploring utopian futures is a good thing, because all of the other factors we have no say in. But the one factor we do, we should make sure we are rooting for the best outcome. I mean, I don't want to live in a dystopian, Walking Dead wasteland, you know, shoot, and my series Harlem Shake. I'm writing about it, but I don't want to live in it. And even when I'm writing about it, I'm so Disney, right? Or, you know, I'm so happy ending that my people are surviving. You know what I'm saying? I'm not writing about people that get dominated and destroyed, you know, Mad Maxed in the future. My future is rekindling empires, rekindling civilization, or at least, you know, haven't lost all of that, you know, haven't lost their humanity and reverted to savages like Negan, you know. So I feel if we have a say in the future, then we should say something and will us towards something good. I think utopian writing is very possible. Here's my argument. We all know the arguments for dystopian. There's a new world order. They keep coming out with AIDS. These got their microchips. Any flat earther could tell you the coronavirus is because of the new world order. They want to Bill Gates. They want to depopulate Elon Musk. They want to depopulate us. China wants to depopulate us. So dystopian futures are already there. Heck, global warming is a dystopian future warning, right? They're not going to, you know, they don't have any hands in it, but damn it, even the planet is rooting for us to be taken off this planet. Now, that's dystopian. So I don't need to go into that too far, but I will go into utopian. All right. Here's some evidences for utopian. I put this up on Facebook, and I hope I have time to finish it before I get to school. But we have virtual school, which now has an algorithm in it where it can pick up, in some cities, abusive language and flag it for further investigation. So you think Minority Report with Tom Cruise, all right? It's going to get to the point where this algorithm is going to be imposed to street cameras. They're going to have sound. They're going to hear abusive language on streets. They're going to hear abusive language. And eventually, not to stop you, you ain't going to shoot a stun taser out of the camera, but they will flag it. They'll take a picture, and you may get a fine, just like if you run a traffic light and the camera catches you, right? Even if you get pulled in, they'll be like, is this your voice? Let's hear your voice, you know, until the software gets really there. So that's one thing. Then the next thing is just cameras in general. You know, you think about us wearing masks and people are still getting caught for crimes, even though they're wearing a damn face mask. Some people even wearing sunshades and still getting caught. How good is facial recognition? God, dog. So that's one thing. Then we also moving into a cashless society. So I'm wondering, for me, how long first of all, will there be banks, physical banks? Online banks are already a thing, and they're just as good as physical banks, except for older people who need to go see a teller, and people who like to talk to somebody in person. However, with the facial recognition software, cameras, and the cashless society, how long is crime going to stay the same, right? How long is crime going to stay the same? People may start getting caught from drive-bys, street corner fights, conflicts, and bank robberies are almost irrelevant. What the heck is the need to rob a bank for if there's no money in the bank? You know, you stick up everybody for jewelry, but just rob a jewelry store, or just rob a rich gathering of people with nice jewelry on. You know what I'm saying? So that's two. And those are some really good things for arguing the future. Of course, like I said, I had told you I didn't start right away when I was in my car, but I just think, utopianism, and maybe I'll do a part two. Maybe I'll finish this on my ride home if I can remember what I talked about. But I just think, utopianism has a stake at the future. We will end up in a possibly demolition man world. Things may not get to the Judge Dredd dystopian future, or Priest. That was another dystopian one. So anyway, I think utopias have a shot, but that's it. Talk to you later, and maybe I'll share with you one of the stories that I'm thinking of with all this utopian and dystopian talk. All right, peace.